welcome to the third review, second review, third video. Always awkward when we have an impressions to do in a given week. I will continually complain about that. Anyway, up this time is Gravity Badgers. Step into the spacesuit of Valiant Gravity Badger Captain T. Bayback. That doesn't seem to be very Badger punny.
I think Bayback is something, but I'm not sure. Like, it has something that's like referencing
it has to
the
be
fact that they have stripes on their backs. I don't know what Bay means in this context.
And now that I think about it, Bayback is probably a type of badger. Anyway, as he ventures into the deadly depths of deep space to save his friends, family, and the universe itself from the threat of the evil honey badgers, aka the Hell Set. Right then. So this game was given to the Galax for review. So over to him for the details.
So yeah, this is ultimately, I mean, don't let the stuff on screen distract you too much. The tutorial is very text heavy because you're playing the guy as a kid learning how to be a gravity badger. Once you get into the actual stages, you pretty much only get text on boss levels. This is a slingshot game. The entire gameplay is pull back and release, and then the power and angle control. Did you just replay the same level?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you miss and go off screen or hit something, you get hurt. You have 3 hits before you fail the stage, and the stages they both scale 1 to 3 stars and have 3 collectible orbs in them. So and if you like get hit but collect all 3 orbs, you might still get a lower star ranking. I honestly don't know what that adds up to late in the game. Also, if once they introduce the gravity obstacles, it is possible to get stuck in an almost endless loop on some stages if you put yourself in an approximately stable orbit. But in those things, you can go back to the main screen. The main things there are gravity repelling, gravity attracting, portals. They did go one step further than using the traditional Portal 1 red and blue and use the Portal 2 multiplayer blue and purple for the entrance and exit portals. Pipes that turn you 90 degrees. Gates that get rid of the guards that are over things sometimes. Guards, I mean like an object, not like a guy not like a guy. And ice cubes that you cling on to, and then after that you can click anywhere and go directly to that place. Give or take gravity. And then obviously there's debris around. Some of the later stages have like space monsters and shit. It's I mean, I only got to like the middle of the second actual world after the story or after the tutorial thing, which is like 30 something levels in. So they were still introducing new obstacles and stuff, but a lot amount of the puzzles boil down to intuiting the effects of the gravity wells which vary based on the orientation and size, or on the size of the planets that's making them, and the, like, what kind of thing. So it's a little bit hard to know clearly sometimes, and that does come in handy, or that makes the trail come in handy. After you get hurt, yeah, this stage I believe is one that I accidentally ended up in a stable orbit on one of my tries. On very few of these does it help to not go maximum speed, is what I've found. That was weird.
Yet hilarious.
Yeah, you usually don't get to do a 180.
Said donk.
Huh?
It said donk.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it does keep up with new stuff, but a lot of it is just intuiting further forms of the gravity well overlap situation, because they do kind of cancel out. And yeah, at the end of every world, there's a boss fight, and at least the first, you don't get like a weapon for that. You still only move around. But the boss fight that I got to, the first one, is a guy in a circular thing with a laser shooting thing, and you're in a zone with 4 ice cubes, so you have to be real fast to shoot yourself to the ice cube and then go between the ice cubes, and then just while he's shooting at the ice cubes, those shots get reflected back, and that's what hurt him. I don't know if the other bosses are that much different, because there were a lot of stages, and it was getting trying to judge the overlaps on some of them were starting to get tiresome, so I kind of gave up. But yeah, so there are novel types of obstacles and stuff, but ultimately it's still just obstacles in the same kind of mechanics, so far as I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from, presumably at the end of each world, you'll rescue so after this stage, Petty, go back to the main menu, or go back to the stage select menu. And go down to, at the bottom of the stage, or at the bottom of the screen, there's a thing that has the badgers. So yeah, at the end of each stage, you unlock a new character to play as, which, as far as I can tell, is entirely cosmetic.
Fun.
And, like, barely even cosmetic. But yeah, that's the main thing, aside from new types of obstacles that progress as you go through the thing. It's a pipe. All right, it's a pipe.
Writing in 2013 was weird.
Honestly,
man.
the pipes were my least favorite things, because they're not actually just like they don't have set output vectors. It is a transformation of the vector you go into it with.
I can see that ending horribly.
So you still, and then you have to deal with things like, oh, there's a gravity well near the inside and a gravity repulsor near the outside, and you have to, so if that kind of thing is interesting to you, you might enjoy this more than I did, but I enjoyed it a little bit when there were a few of them, but then when it gets to the point where you're dealing with literally like 4 or 5 overlapping gravity fields, it gets a bit much.
Oh, those ice blocks, you can just kind of pick where it sends you?
Yeah. I thought they'd be using those more, but as far as I got, they're still pretty uncommon. And you do go as fast as you can off of. See, now you're an adult. And that was the tutorial world.
Oh god, that art.
So yeah, that's how we're at the beginning of every world. You get like a story cutscene with no text, and then at the boss fight, you get a little introduction to the character you're saving. And that's about all there is. Like, they're trying to do stuff with story, but there's not a whole lot of it. So yeah, I think ultimately this is a pretty simple game. It's fun enough, but it doesn't have a whole lot of tricks. So,
like, yeah, I can just see these ones so far as just go in a line.
well, this time I think that's the first time you've ever really been required to do it at a diagonal angle. Oh yeah, this is mouse only.
Yes, I can
It probably
imagine.
was originally a mobile game. Yeah, this is the first one where the pipes kind of are fucky.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay, then.
Because you have to bounce back into so many pipes.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so do I fix that by tilting a little more to the left or a little more to the right? It's impossible to fucking keep track after that many things. So yeah, the music is reasonably pleasant. Low-key space beats to whatever to. Gravity jump, I guess, too. I think the point of this one is to teach you that fucking gravity wells cancel out.
Okay.
If they're the same size. You have to aim pretty close toward the center planet on this one, I believe.
Anyway.
Yeah, so, yeah, you see what I mean. It does have new puzzles, but that's about all you got. So yeah. What's the price, Adam?
A neat and tidy $4.99, $5 regular price. Right now it's on sale for 74 cents.
Well, sure, pick it up for 74 cents.
But
$5 might be a little high, though.
I
know there's a lot of game here, but it's maybe a bit repetitive.
I mean, there's 140 levels it's boasting, so
yeah,
you get a lot of this.
Yes.
You know, certainly enough Badger by the pound.
So what, I could just, like, click where I want to go with these and...
Oh, yeah. This episode, this stage is completely trivial. It's just a, hey, do you remember about these ice cubes? The fact that the ice cubes are spinny is honestly kind of distracting. But anyway, yeah, that's... I can't say there's literally nothing else to it because I did not finish the game, but I don't think it's likely that there's a lot more to it, so take what you see from this tutorial as a grain of whatever.
I mean, the variety is going to be in the stage gimmicks. In terms of, like, core mechanics, you're looking at it.
Actually, this one kind of brings up a point, which is that the visible gravity well from repel planets is not actually the exact limit of where the repulsion field goes, which is a little annoying. Like, I would like it better if there was a more obvious, like... But you just kind of have to guess at like how strongly. Eventually, you get kind of a feel for it, but then the more stuff overlaps, the more complicated it gets. Anyway, I think that's really all I've got.
Okay.
These were some of my favorite stages, actually, the ones where you're just making one big orbit around the thing.
That's kind of interesting, but yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about all I got. There's a lot of stages, so if you like gravity slingshot puzzles, you may enjoy this. If you like badgers, it's not actually that heavy on badgers, I don't think.
Don't you know all badgers are in space?
Fair enough.
At the least, there were no mushrooms or snakes involved.
Yeah.
Oh, the boss theme is actually a little bit of a like beat version of the Badger Mushroom song, actually.
Good to know, I guess.
I had almost forgotten.
Anyway,
The game does not seem to include any snakes, but it does have like space worms.
Anyway, that about does it for Gravity Badgers here. Be sure to tune in after the break as we review Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord.